Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought about sharing with you 5 books that I gave 5 stars to up until now this year. So the first book that we are going to start with is The Adventures of Amina Al Sirafi. This book was released at the beginning of this year. And I have already pre-ordered it from Waterstones. This is the Waterstones edition. It's gorgeous. This book is very, very, very pretty. And the inside flap of the dust jacket is also really, really pretty, as you can see. And the map is gorgeous. What I liked about it, it's set in a different part of the world. Usually the fantasy books we read are set in a Western world, but this one is in the Middle Eastern area, Asia. It's in the Great Indian Ocean. So this is the first element that really stood out for me, that it is set in a different part of the world, different cultures completely. And also that is about a head pirate. So she's the captain pirate and she's a single mom. And she's, I think, in her 40s. So this was very, very unique. I really, really like the story. I like the main character, Amina. She's very brave, a badass woman. She will do anything to protect her daughter, and now she's retired. So after, like, the book, when the book begins, she's retired. She's done with all the pirating stuff, adventures, the sea, the sailing, everything. She's done with that. She just wants to raise her daughter, and she's done with the pirate life. But then she gets an offer from a very rich woman. She belongs to a very rich family who have a daughter that disappeared. So Amina is trying to find the daughter and bring her back. I mean, they believe she got kidnapped or disappeared, something like that. But the offer was too good to pass because Amina had a lot of trouble with money also. So she decided to take that job. I mean, in the beginning, she didn't even want to leave her daughter, but then she decided that she wanted to give her daughter a better life, and the money that she will gain from that job offer would help her do that. And we follow her around her adventure. It is so good. It's so unique. First of all, I want to tell you that this is told in an interview form, but I read the book along with the audio, and the audio is excellent. It's excellent. I really loved it. How they talk to each other, how she speaks, it's like a full acting moment. I really, really love the audio. Made this book 100 times better. And like, yes, we follow her. She's grouping members, and we follow her around with, there are a lot of mystical creatures, fantastical creatures. There's jinn, a lot of things that are very, very different and unique from the fantasy that we see and we read now. So this definitely stood out for me, and I really, really loved it. It was very, very fun. And I didn't think that a part was like dragging or boring. I really liked it. I was very intrigued to discover the world with her and to see what happens next. It was really, really good and really, really funny. And there was a lot of humor in this book. I really liked it. So this was the first book that I gave 5 stars to. So next up is the infamous Once Upon a Broken Heart. So this is the book that is written by Stephanie Garber. Everyone knows the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Of course, this is a 5 stars. I mean, The book is amazing. I didn't want to read it at first because I was hesitant because the series were not complete. But now that the third book is coming out very soon, I read this book at the beginning of this year and I gave it 5 stars, and I reread it after that. I think 4 or 5 months after it, I reread it, and it's still 5 stars. I didn't read the second book yet because I'm just waiting a little bit until the release date is pretty close so I can read it and then jump directly to the third book. But I read the whole Caraval series. I loved it. And this book is even better. It's even better. It's really, really good. Whimsical, magical, the love story. And you feel it's a real YA fantasy where it's light, but at the same time, I don't know, it transports you. I mean, I swear Stephanie Garber is like, she has a magic wand. She's a sorceress or a fairy or something like that, because her writing is extraordinary. Her writing is so magical. I love her writing so much. And of course, everyone fell in love with Jax from the Caraval series, and I'm very happy that we got to see him and he got his own story. We get to see more of him, more of his character, and I'm excited to see what happens with Jax and Evangeline in the next book. And yeah, magic, adventure, magical world, whimsical. I mean, the description, the lyrical, everything is so, I don't know, so poetic, so transporting. I love it. I love this world, and I hope we get more books in this world. I really do. Excellent book. Highly recommend. So the next one I read is Divine Rivals. I think by now everyone already heard about Divine Rivals. It's a historical fiction romance, so good. Rivals to lovers. I mean, Rebecca Ross, how she wrote this, the love story, how it is woven in the fantastical elements in the plot, and how like the back and forth of the letters just gives you more insight on the characters, how they think, and it transported me. I really loved that. I didn't feel bored whatsoever. I liked it so much. And I'm very excited that this is just the beginning and we are going to see more books set in this world. And we get to see more about the gods and the history behind it. Yeah, of course, Iris and Roman, we get to see more of them because that the ending was harsh, to say the least. So yeah, Divine Rivals, definitely a must read if you didn't read it yet. Highly recommend. The next book is none other than Fourth Wing. I think Fourth Wing is safe to say that it's the star of this year. Fourth Wing is the star of 2023. It is I don't know, it is a new culture, the Fourth Wing culture. It is. I mean, it is. And I bought this beautiful German edition, even if I don't read any German. But you see the naked cover is gorgeous. And the sprayed edges are phenomenal. I love the blue with the dragons that are like the flames coming up, and orange, the hues of orange and yellow, and like the map. full color. Very nice. I loved it. So I think by now everyone knows what this book is about. It's a new adult, I believe, fantasy romance set in this war school. So Violet, who has a physical condition, I cannot remember what it is precisely, but it makes her weak. I think it's disease in her joints, something like that. I'm not sure, but it makes her weaker, and she's just pushed into this program by her mother because she's like the head of the dragon riders, something like that, in the military. She's highly ranked, and she will not accept nothing less from her children other than being dragon riders. Yeah, so Violet is fighting for her life because the number of dragons is limited and people die. They try to trap each other. Stuff happen because they know that the number is limited. And there is a romance that blooms and much more. It's a lot of political intrigue, also plot heavy and character growth. Amazing book. I really loved it. I know that it is highly hyped up on the social media, but with the reason. I really loved it. I cannot wait for Iron Flame. I was so happy, beyond happy, that because I thought that we are going to wait to next year, but that Iron Flame, the second book, is going to be released in November. I was like screaming when I googled it, and I was so happy because usually we wait a full year until we get a sequel, but I think we got lucky with this one. So yeah, definitely highly anticipated release and highly ranked book. It would be on my top 10 list of my favorite book this year, if not the first. I really loved it. It was so addictive. Fourth Wing. So the fifth book. So this book, if you have the hangover after you read Fourth Wing like me, I was like, looking into the infinite space, and I was like, oh my god, what will I do with my life right now? I don't know. What book will fill that void? Fear the Flames. That's the book that will fill that void. Fear the Flames is a magnificent book about it's not, you can say a lost heir, but like she ran away from her father's kingdom. Her name is Elowen. She's a princess, and she ran away because at her birth she was tied to 5 dragons, and I mean, usually I think people only not people, but like the royal family would only have a relation or a tie to 1 dragon, I think, but she was tied to 5, so she was prophesied to be very powerful. So her dad was very scared of her power, and he locked her in the dungeon since she was a child. And like, he's the worst. I mean, I hate him so much. And he did those awful things to her. So she ran away, and she started to live her own life, like, away from him. And now stuff happened, and she wants to regain her title. And she wants to, because her dragons stayed back, and she wants to go and free her dragons, and be with them again, reunited. This is a adult fantasy romance with a very heartwarming found family mixed with a lot of humor. The characters, you can separate them from each other easily. Each character has his own personality. I loved it so much. Like, I mean, you can really feel love that the author put in these pages. It's really well written. The adventure, I wasn't bored at all. Also, during it's very fast paced. It's like, I think, reluctant allies to lovers. You can say that the male interest is your typical shadow daddy. He does not have any shadow powers, but like, he's that kind of mysterious guy, and we love to see it. I mean, and the book is fantastic. I really loved it, and I cannot wait to read the sequel. This is a very good book. If you loved Fourth Wing, if you love Carissa Broadbent, Sarah J. Maas, you will definitely love this book. Really great fantasy romance, and I cannot wait for the second book. I think it will come up by the end of this year. I'm not sure, but I think so, by December. So yeah, Fear the Flames. Definitely. If you love dragons, fantasy romance, this is your book. So these are some of the books I gave 5 stars to this year. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from me. And I'll catch up with you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!